So before we hop into this podcast episode, I want to give you guys a heads up that something really, really unfortunate happened. We lost one of the angles of our video, but do not worry. We figured out a way to make it happen. The video is amazing, but I want to give you guys a heads up as you get into watching the podcast. It's going to look a little bit different, still super dope. Check out this intro. It's lit. This week on the Iron Skillet Podcast, we have Kyle Sloane, the founder of Yerboy Art and Apparel. Kyle grew up in the Winchester area and has always had a passion for art, music, and streetwear. One weekend on a spring break trip, he made a run of Yerboy t-shirts and completely sold out in just a couple hours. This success gave him confidence and sparked thoughts of him creating his own brand. Shortly after that, while studying at Old Dominion University, his friends believed in his dream and his passion so much that they gifted him a sewing machine so he could continue to create and build his brand. From that point on, he slowly started to build the foundation of what you know today as Yerboy Art and Apparel. In this episode, Kyle shares how moving to bigger cities like LA and Miami opened his eyes to the possibility of being a full-time creative, making money doing what you truly love. He believes that showing love and genuine support for other creatives is one of the best ways to network and utilize social media. These past 6 months, he's been hard at work doing commission artwork pieces, numerous t-shirt and apparel drops, and individual limited quantity cut and sew pieces. Kyle is living proof that if you believe in your vision and reinforce that with hard work and dedication, anything is possible. I can't wait for you guys to hear his story. Check out this episode with the founder of Yerboy Art and Apparel, Kyle Sloane.
What's up, everyone? Iron Skillet. It's been a while since we've been here as a group. We've had some podcasts stocked up, and we've been dropping content. We're finally getting back in the rhythm of things, and you already know who the usual suspects are. We got Master Logan in the building. Of course, the Humble Savage, which is actually her birthday. Shout out to Shator Lane.
What's up, guys?
T. Clem on the boards. Without him, none of this would be possible. I'm Bullwhip, Iron Skillet Podcast. We got a very special podcast today from a local artist, entrepreneur. He's actually down in Miami right now doing his thing and is still creating. We got Kyle Sloane, the founder of Yerboy, clothing, art. Like, this guy does it all. So,
everybody,
we're going to get into your whole creative process, your whole creative journey, but I want to let's fill the people in on you and get them familiar with you. So, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Winchester, Virginia. Like you guys, born and raised. Moved out of there like 2008, 2009 when I went to college down at ODU in the Virginia Beach area. Came back home for a little bit when I graduated in 2014, and then kind of bounced around to Cali, Philly, and have been in Florida for about the last 4.5 years now, or Miami the last year, Orlando before that.
Bro, you've been all over. I forgot about your Cali trip. And actually, that's where I first met you at, was ODU, and we was talking about that before we went live. We've had some wild times down there in ODU. Probably shouldn't bring those up on here.
Facts.
So, like I mentioned before, you are the founder, creator of Yerboy, which is a clothing line, but I feel like it's more than that, because you don't just make clothing. Like, you paint. I see you got some aesthetics behind you there.
Yeah, this is actually a piece that I'm in the process. I've been kind of off and on working on it for like a while now. It's like a stock market themed piece, so everybody knows like the bull with the stock market and shit like that. And then this is actually a piece that I actually put in the background just because I knew I was going to be on here. It's definitely something I'm pretty proud of, and it resonates with everything going on right now. But it's
fire.
Yeah, I seen you post that. Did you post that on your IG?
Yeah, I did a Black Panther piece a while back, and then I had a guy I used to work with actually commission me to do a Black Lives Matter type piece. So, but yeah, like as far as the brand, it's a little bit of more of a lifestyle brand. It's a blend between art and fashion, and that's really kind of what makes my brand unique. I have a really unique printing process. Everything is, handmade. I do a lot of cut and sew as well. Everything like from the tags to all that, sourcing product, actually screen printed and on there, is all me. So it's something I kind of wanted to tie all in together. And then Yerboy is also kind of a mentality, a way of thinking. And that's what kind of just ties the Yerboy Art and Apparel as well.
I feel like you could just throw that around as like a slang term, like saying what's up, and yeah,
that's how it started out, man. Actually, I was at ODU, man. It was me, Vance, Fishback, Denzel. You guys all know those people, but my main group of friends. And then I met another friend while I was at ODU. His name's Nico Berry, Mr. Foley. He actually shoots videos. He's got a little thing going on, Mr. Foley. So definitely check him out. But yeah, man, we started saying it. Like, it was just your boy this, or your girl that, or your boy this, or your this, or your that. And honestly, dude, we started saying it like, I used to say nigga or like bitch all the time. And I was like, man, I need to like get away from that shit. And I would just say like your boy or your girl or whatever. And then, man, we did that shit for probably like a good like 2.5, almost 3 years. And right around like 2011, we were about to go to like spring break in Orlando, Florida, ironically. And I went to like H&M and like PacSun and shit, and they had these tank tops that were like floral print all over. And that was something that was like super in at the time. And I got all these shirts and like tanks printed up. So we like drove down to Orlando and then went to, what was it? I think it was Florida Atlantic. Or no, not Florida Atlantic, but I can't think of the name.
It's all good.
Orlando.
You've been too many places, man.
Not Florida State. I can't remember, but
You went down to one of the schools down there for spring break.
Anyways, we went down to one of the schools down there, and they were having some event, and then we just started selling these shits like hand to fist, like just to do it, and people like bought them, and people caught on. So then we came back to ODU, and then we got like 50 shirts made and had this like big ass party, and they all sold. Like we sold them to like get into the party, and they all sold. And then I was like, damn, like we're on to something. And that was when I copyrighted the name, or like the design of the logo, I guess you will.
Yep.
And then it was on kind of on from there. We just like I would like make different products like one by one.
See, it's such like a. I want to say like kind of like a universal term, like anybody can use it, so it sticks. I mean, anybody would put it on a shirt and wear. You know what I mean? It's not like for one person.
Oh yeah, it could be for anybody. And I also shout out to you for like being on your shit and copywriting it once you knew you were about that life, because that's not very common. Like a lot of
people don't take that initiative.
A lot of people miss that step, and I think we all know that can come back to bite you at the end if you have something that's really popping, but you didn't go about that the first time. So shout out to you for doing that, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I had a poor man's copyright. Like what a lot of people don't know is like when it comes to like a work of art, like and like people do this with brands all the time. They'll like make a cool ass brand name and then like model their brand with like other logos and shit like that. And all that's like, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just really wanted to, like the logo came like so organically. Like I used to write Yerboy on everything. And then when Cash App came out, I got a Cash App card and my signature on it was Yerboy, like the signature.
That's dope.
On the card. I still have it to this day. So like I would do stuff with Cash App and go to sign, and I would sign Kyle Sloane, and they'd be like, "No, we can't accept this." So I had to sign Yerboy. So I was like, "Oh shit, this is like my name." Like, and then I was at college, and like people, like girls, friends, or whatever, like somebody see me like, "Oh, that's Yerboy," like, "Oh, Fulio," like we used to say Fulio all the time, like, and it would just be like, "Hey, Yerboy," like, and I'm like, "Okay, shit, this is like my name." And then I started like the Instagram handle, and I just like looked it up, and it's like a poor man's copyright. So I had drawn the logo, and then I sent it like first class mail to myself.
Yep.
When you send it to yourself and you don't open it, it's post stamped. So if anyone would ever like say like, "Oh, I own Yerboy," I would be able to provide this envelope that has a post stamp and has never been opened, and then they would open it and see that it was
exactly
dated with that. I mean, that's how you get like a poor man's copyright.
That was the way to do it back in the day.
Trademarking Yerboy all together. So like I filed for it. I'm just waiting on the approval. So like I'll like own the name.
Exactly.
Like Yerboy, like spelled that way.
Super dope.
Yo, if I look at your license and it doesn't have a Yerboy signature on it, I'm gonna be highly upset.
That's hilarious.
I don't know how they do it in Florida, but that shit better be on there.
Where did you start making stuff, like making apparel and like designing things when you got into college? Was that when you first started getting into being into art, or were you dabbling in any of that stuff before you left to go to ODU?
Yeah, like I had never painted before, so I would always like draw and doodle and shit like that, and like I didn't even want to go to college, to be honest. Like my friends were all going, and I was like, oh, I'm going to Lord Fairfax. My mom was like, nah, hell nah, you're not doing that shit. You're going to college. So she actually sent me to an HBCU.
That's dope.
Yeah, so like I went there my first year, and then
which one did you go to?
My second year with all the boys, and then you know, I had always doodled, and I'd be in like college classes just like doodling and shit, and I'd be like, man, like Diamond Supply came out, and I was just like all over Diamond Supply. I thought that was the dopest shit ever at the time, and so something was just like, man, like my mom, she called me and be like, switch your major to art, and I'm like, man, fuck art. Like people who are doing art are broke. Like I'm about money. Like I need to figure out, you know, other
how to
shit.
make money. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And knock on wood, you know, didn't listen to moms. And so we made those shirts, and it was like I wasn't really doing it yet. I was just kind of like dibbling and dabbling. And then honestly, it was like the year after that. So like this is 2012 now. And then Vance and Fishback came home like to the apartment one day, and they had this big ass box. I was like, yo, what the fuck is that? And they bought me a sewing machine.
Wow,
They're
that's
like,
love.
yo, bro, you talking about like doing all this shit. Like, yo, here, do it. So they brought me like this $250 sewing machine, and it was like a gift. So I, at that point in time, I started, like I made my first cut and sew items. And that was when I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this fashion shit. And I would take jeans, because skinny jeans was coming out. So I would take the jeans and I would skinny them myself.
Yeah.
Or like I would take the insides of the legs out and replace them with like leather and shit like that. So shit was going. And then, you know, I graduated. Like we sold some shirts here and there, like college. And in like 2014, I moved to Cali. And then when I got to Cali, it was the first time I ever saw like real artists and real creatives like getting money, like doing whatever they want. Like I was like, damn, bro, like this shit is crazy. I would go into all these dope ass boutiques and shit. So I started thinking about ideas of shirts. And while I was in Cali, I had started to actually paint. I went to like my first Blick art store, downtown San Francisco. Like bought this huge ass canvas. It was like 6 feet tall, and couldn't get it in the car because I didn't have a car. Like I had Uber. So like the Uber was super cool, and like tied this big ass 6 foot canvas on the top of the car. And the Uber guy was actually like a grower. This is so weird, bro. He's a grower. His name was Octavius Nash, and
that's hard.
yeah, so I showed him my shit, and he's like, yo, I like it. Well, then the next like week, this guy comes with a heat press. Like, hey, you know, I really believe in what you're doing. You know, you can have this shit, but if you ever leave back to Virginia, just give it back. And I'm like, okay, cool. So then I had a heat press, and then I found this company to do like vinyls.
Yep.
Like high quality vinyl. So I started like heat pressing shirts, and I just had them, and I wasn't selling them from California. And then I had kind of started painting, shit like that. And then I moved back to Wink. So I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? I don't have a job. Like, you know, I was working like corporate shit out in Cali, like making good money. I'm like, man, I don't have a job. Like, what am I going to do? Well, I bought 3 blank canvases from like the Michaels in Winchester. And then I went to like the screen printing company that had just started in Winchester and got like 25 shirts made of like one of my first paintings on the shirt. It was like the eye, the one you was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I remember that.
That was my first real painting ever that I had done like in Virginia. I did like 6 or 7 big pieces in California, and then did like a big wall. But I had never done like an actual canvas and sold it. Like my boy Nico actually has the ones from Cali. Like he stayed out there, long story short. But yeah, and then I put these shirts up, and they sold out in like 3 days. I'm like, oh shit.
Because they were fire.
Yeah, those were dope. I remember when you dropped those.
Yeah, and then I put the canvases up on like my Instagram, and like some dude from like Delaware bought one, some dude from Wisconsin bought one, and then like somebody that I used to know in San Francisco bought one. And I was like, holy shit, like in a week I sold 3 paintings and like 25 shirts. Like I could do this shit. You know, I made like, you know, probably like $600-700 all together. Like I used to sell the paintings for like $100 at the time. So I'd probably make like $30 on it. Like, And I was just like, wow, I'm going to do this. And then I kind of like piddled and paddled with it a little bit. The next shirt after that was just like, it said Yerboy, and it was like a triangle on the back. Straight fucking flop. Well, maybe sold 2. Like, was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And then I was like doing custom shit there for a while. And then it was like, I kind of just like let it go. And then I was like heavy into painting. And then I came back to it again, like with the painting. So it's almost like a ping pong for inspiration between the two.
Right.
I'll never forget. I think we went to this all white party one time, and I remember you pulled up and you were like, yo, and we just were chopping it up, and you had made your outfit. Like, you're like, yeah, I was late. You were like, I was late. I was mad late because I was finishing this outfit, and I was just blown because I was like, wait a minute, you made that? And you were like, yeah. And I thought that was just the dopest thing. I was like, that's so lit. That, like, you know what I mean? And that's also...
Like, I forgot all about that. That shit was, like, man, I went to Kohl's, right?
Yeah.
Kohl's and Gabe's, right? I'm in Winchester, can't find shit. I go to Kohl's and couldn't find any male white pants, like men's white pants. And then they have these, like, women's white pants, like, size 12. And they was, like, cotton and, like, had the, like, spandex lyrica material in them. So they were, like, the quality was a fucking 100.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy these. So I bought them, like skinnied them up, made them fit, and then got some like low top white Vans. And then I couldn't find, like, I didn't want to wear a t-shirt or nothing like that. I wanted something like super dope. And I saw this shirt on Instagram that this designer made with like a zipper that went all the way like.
I remember, back. Yep.
So I bought it was a 3X white crew neck hooded sweatshirt. And cut the sleeves off, and then like made them out of the extra fabric. And then I remember I took the sleeves, and because I had bought the sweatshirt for my Uncle Garrett, he wanted me to make him a hoodie, and I never made his hoodie. Ironically, I cut the sleeves off and put it on the bottom of like some sweatpants, and then left it short sleeve, and then like threw that zipper on it and just made a shirt from scratch.
It was lit. I remember you pulled up, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like, just blew my mind. That was awesome, man. Well, when you came back from Cali to Wink, and you're chopping it up, trying to make stuff and sewing and everything, like, what made you decide to leave Winchester from that point? Because it sounds like you were selling things here and there, and you're making a little bit of money, but what was like that push where you were like, all right, now I gotta go try to move to a different city?
I mean, well, like, I would have definitely stayed in Cali. Cali, like, that was the first place I had moved after college. That was the January after I graduated. I graduated the May before that. I had actually got into some bullshit. You know, we've all been...
I feel you, yeah.
And so I had to come back to Virginia, and plus it was, like, a little expensive. Student loans kicked in. So I didn't want to be in Virginia in the first place just because it was like, you know, I want to see the world. Like, I've been in Virginia. You know, I've never been, you know, out of the country. I've never been in other states. Cali, like, completely spoiled me. So when I moved to Cali, it was almost like moving to the best place that you've ever lived, like, for what you do creatively. Mm-hmm. And then coming back, and then, like even, like, the shoes that I bought out there. Like, I'll never forget I bought these, like, Roshi runs, and I went into the mall, like, 3 or 4 months later when I was back in Wink, and they had just came out in Wink, and I got so fucking depressed. And I was like, shit, I'm going to start applying for jobs again. So I got back into property management. And then I moved to Philly. And then Philly's like a big art community too, like big in Black culture and shit like that. So it kind of re-sparked that interest again. And then in Philly, like, it was just hella negative though. So it was like I was painting in the crib every day. And that was when I kind of gathered like a real body of work. And then like I got tired of Philly and I just moved to Florida, and I was trying to get to Miami, but then I had got a decent job in Orlando and kind of stayed there. So it's like I was selling these. Like, I sold a lot in Winchester. You know, I got great response from it, of course. But it's like I also wanted to test myself and be like, okay, I know that if I put out shirts, 100% I can sell 25 in Winchester every time. Like, if I don't put out another shirt for 5 years, like, I can come up with a random shirt and sell 25 in Winchester. Like, you know, no problem. You know, that's where I'm from. That's where, you know, I'm at. But I wanted to see, can I do this somewhere else? So that was kind of more the motivation for me. It was like, you know, I want to explore. I want to make money. I want to see what else is out here, and I want to, you know, really like put my shit to the test.
Well, it's looking good. I mean, your promo game's been crazy the past couple months. I don't know when it was. It was a couple months ago. probably right around the time this whole COVID started. There was the I forget what it was called. It was the circle thing with the names.
Yeah, so that shit started me off really realizing like, hey, bro, you gotta promote your shit. So yeah, and that's how so I got them all like over here. That was the first shirt, like one of the first shirts I did at the 2018, the Goosebumps joint.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah, that was lit.
See, I love that. Like, obviously, I wasn't jumping in on the scheme, but I love that you took that because it was so known, and then you co-branded it with your apparel, and I thought that was genius.
Yeah, like I had a good time with that shit, man. And honestly, dude, I made a lot of fucking money like off of that loom board. Like my baby mom made money. Like she was helping me out with it. And so traditionally, like I've seen that board in the past, right? And I've heard of it. I haven't seen it on the sense of a scam. Like I'm not, if anybody who knows me, like I'm not that big on social media. I don't, like that's my biggest epic flaw is marketing and promotion for myself. So long story short, like I've seen it, and that's like a real thing that people do in their culture, and like families and shit like that. You know, you'll have 10 or 12 family members. Everybody put in, you know, $100, $200 a month for a year. Every Christmas, one of the family members gets to take out like 10 bands, and you know they have to do something with it, start a business, whatever. And it's made to continue going on. So this dude sent it to me. He's like a like big into fashion. I met him when I was in Philly, and he had reached out to me to do a collab with this tequila company, like some artwork. I never ended up doing it because I left Philly, but he sent it to me like, yo, like you should get some people on this. So I was playing the board. Like I put like $20 in a couple of boards, like a few times, like maybe 3 times for like a day or two. Like I was doing this, like, you know, putting money in, but like I wasn't sharing it at all. Yeah. Cause I'm like, I don't understand it yet. So like I put my 20 in, you know, got from the outside to the inside, the whole 9 yards. And then I put like 50 in and I came up, and then I put like 100 in, and that board, like I just never made it to the middle. It's like, it comes to the game. Like once a lot of people get on it. So I started thinking to myself, I'm like, well, fuck it. Like I'm going to post this shit on my Facebook and tell my homies and friends and family to get in. And the goal of it is like, you only get your friends and family to get in, and then they tell their friends and family, and they tell their friends and family. And then, you know, as this goes on, like 2-3 days down the road, nobody got fucked over because like the guy who's like not getting to the middle now is the friend of your friend of your friend of your friends of your friend's cousin of your friend's, like, you know what I'm saying? So but everybody that you actually know and talk to and interact with, like, you know, made it out. So I'm like doing it, and then I'm like, okay. And then I'm a smart guy, so I started realizing like how you can scam this shit. I'm like, well, fuck, I can make a board and put my name in the middle of the board. And I'm like, well, fuck that. Like, I'm not this scammer ass nigga. Like, I don't, like, I'm getting people that I fuck with on here. Like, I'm not trying to get it like that. So I started like sending it out to, like, once I got into the middle of my board, it was like, you would always see like this dude Justin was on my board. But that's because that's how you knew it was legit, because I only came from his board, like from the DC area, long story short. So it got going around, and then it's like, okay, people are getting to the middle, people are rolling, and then it's like, okay, boom, now I'm on the outside of another board. So I'm just like actually playing like a regular person while I waited until my name got in the middle of all the boards that I were playing. And then I took those boards and shared them with my people. So it turned into this thing where like, bro, I think I made like $3,200 in like 3 or 4 days. Sheesh. My girl made like $1,200. Man, everybody that I know, like, and friends with or cool with, like got to the middle and got there, like whether it was 200, 400, you know, whatever, like at least once or twice. I mean, nobody can say Kyle Sloane scammed me or Kyle Sloane got me into like a bad shit. Well, then I see later on, like people got my name on boards that I'm not playing on, their names in the middle, they never got to me. I'm like, oh shit, this is like, okay, now this is how the scam gets started, because it's like social media. People don't, like, people are jumping on a stranger's board. Like, well, who the fuck does that? Would you give a stranger like money on the street? So I was like, man, let me come up with this, like, I want to put that shit on a shirt. So it was right when COVID hit. People had just got their like little $1,200. So I just put on the back of the shirt, like, you know, COVID-19, scared money don't make no money, only $25 only. Like, if you scared, go to church. And then I put the board, and then I put my logo like big over the board. And then at the bottom, like, oh, like a disclaimer, like, common fucking sense. Don't have no fucking squares in your circle. If
Yeah.
you got a queen, you know fucking scams, don't send this shit to him, bro. Because he's gonna have you and all your fucking friends on a standy ass board. Like, market your product, aka if you put your money up on a board, you don't get to the middle, and you didn't get at least 2 or 3 other people to join that same board that you were on, you ain't do your job.
That's
There
it.
you go.
And
You feel me?
you did a good job of it because you was like, man, I'm trying to make sure people make money. And I seen that. I was like, damn, he's really showing love.
I ain't gonna say no
yeah.
names, but I can tell you right now, like,
You was trying to make people money.
I can tell you right now, at the end of the day, that people that was doing bullshit games, that like, and they'll tell you to like, oh, Kyle, let's get a joint started. Like, people fuck with your game. I'm like, nah, nigga, like, it's real, it's regular money out here. Like, it's everybody can get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Winchester would have played with Winchester and just kept it Winchester, by the time people start losing, man, it's in Front Royal.
Yeah.
It's in Strasburg. It's in Woodstock. It's in West Virginia, like Martinsburg. So
I feel like it's so lit that you can parlay that into a piece of art that's so relevant. Every piece of it is. Every like down to the detail of the board and what you put on the shirt. And I feel like that story makes that shirt so much more lit. Like, now that I know all of that, I'm like, damn, I fuck with that piece. That's really awesome.
Like, I didn't want to print that many because, like, I wanted the people who played and who saw that shit going on to be like, yo, man, like, I remember that. Like, that
I'm gonna
shit
get
was
that.
crazy. Like, it was like, it was, you get on Facebook and it's nothing but boards. But, bro, nobody in Winchester was doing that until I brought it there. Like, and I don't care. It's not no clout chasing off of that. Like, fuck a board.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was already going to make a Goosebumps shirt, so I put the Goosebumps on the front, like, yo, like, I want to keep that 90s theme. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm born in 1990, so I try to keep, like, a 90s theme or aesthetic to all my stuff, which is why I don't do any, like sublimation or stuff like that, like, all that new school shit. I want my shit to be, like, when you went to a Redskins game back in the day, bro, like, it was a guy with the screen press out there, like, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Like, here, take your shirt, be careful, it's still wet.
Yeah.
And they used to do that to the Hanley games, you remember?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. They were just making shit in the back.
There and get it made at the game, and there'd be 2 people like there on screen presses, like
Banging them out. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, it sounds like, so I know Brandon brought it up. He said, like, your marketing now, you said in the past you might not have been on it, but the past couple months I've been on your IG and you've been killing it.
And Facebook.
Yeah, everything. So from like, I wanted to ask you 2 questions to give other people advice, other creatives. Like, if you could give people some advice around branding and around networking with other people, what would some of your advice be? Because it seems like you met a lot of people in other cities. You did a good job networking, and your brand online right now looks really dope. So what are some pieces of advice you could give around those 2 things?
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you, because I feel like it sucks. Like, I feel like my Instagram is the worst. Like, I feel like I could sell so much more if my branding and stuff like that was better. But definitely some pieces of advice that I would say. Number one, and I kind of talked to Brandon about this like beforehand. It's man, you got to show love. Like I can't expect nobody to buy my product if I'm not buying their product or they haven't seen me like invest in theirs, especially when it comes to like creative people. So it's like for you guys and stuff like that, like absolutely I want to capitalize on your market because your market is who I'm selling to. And I mean that by the demographic, like the music that they listen to, the style, the fashion, the all that. Like you never see me on, you know, like I might have talked shit on, like I'm a shit talker on like when it comes to Facebook, just as who I am. But you never see me really like shitting on nobody's like music unless I don't know, unless it was just old, and if I did, I apologize for it. But like, you know what I'm saying? There's so much different shit going on out there, man. And that's the number one thing. It's like, give more love out. I'm like, man, I gotta get on people's posts. Like, I gotta follow people back. Because it used to be like uncool to follow everybody back, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now it's like, I'm following everybody or trying to. And if I don't, it's just because I didn't see it or whatever. And like DMing people, telling them their shit's dope. Like sharing their shit on my story, letting them know it's dope. And I think that outside of capitalizing on their market, what it does is it shows people that you're genuine, like, and your brand is genuine, and that you recognize that you're still small town and you're humble enough with it to realize that you have a product that you want to sell at a price point because you know the quality's there and you want people to respect that, but also that you're humble with it and you show love to other things that are going on. Number two, is investing in yourself. Like,
Amen.
Yeah.
like I sell better product now. Like I spend like these, butterfly hoodies that I just did, bro.
Fire.
The blank hoodie alone to get them joints is like $32.
Damn.
So it's like, not to mention I got 4 custom tags on here and like embroidery and shit like that I all did.
Mm-hmm.
And all that shit costs money. So it's like, I think it's one thing is like showing people like what you put into it. Like I started being very outspoken, like, hey, this is what you're going to get if you buy this. Like, this is going to be the quality. This is what I'm saying. Like, and I kind of jock that shit from like people doing music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my shit's the hardest. I'm not saying I'm the best to ever do it, but I'm the best at how I'm doing my shit right now, and none of y'all are doing it like me, whether we've got the same music or not. Like,
Facts.
this, I'm giving it. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, you pick up what I'm putting down, it's your boy. Like, that's what it is.
You let the quality speak for itself, and like you said, with the higher dollar hoodie, obviously it's not like a $15 Gildan hoodie. Like, you paid for good quality, so when somebody buys that and they see all the detail and they feel it, they're gonna be even more impressed because it's not just some bullshit somebody picked up at Gabe's and then slapped your boy on it. Like, this is like real.
That's why like my 2 points really don't have anything to do with like specific marketing tips, because in the past I've always done like Facebook ads or tried to do a little something like that. But man, no sales really come from that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even see me now posting pictures with like models and stuff like that, because I take all the money and put it back into the product. Like, I just want to have dope ass shit. Like,
as
I
you
don't
should.
care if it's just me having it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Rodman hoodie, like, I wanted to do a dope product, right? And I wanted it to be super badass. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put a lot of money into this product. And Warren Lotus, he's like a designer. I have a couple of his hoodies and t-shirts and shit like that. And his shirts are like, $150, $200, like stupid ass resale and shit like that. And I got it just because I wanted to have the quality. Because anybody knows me, I'm not that guy. Like, I'll make some shit before I spend, a ridiculous price tag. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. But once I got his product in my hand, I saw that, like, okay, this took me a month and a half to come in the mail because the quality is there. And his shit is made, like, here. So it's like, let me not spend any money on, like, some model, some other face, some cool-ass video. Like, let me not do any of that. Let me just make sure I put out a cool, dope-ass product. And then, post a picture of it, like, just the product by itself, and let that shit speak for itself. And it worked. You know what I mean? It worked. Like, I did the discount, and I'm doing the 20% discount and all that shit. And, like, people were putting in the comments, like, proud to pay. Like,
that's dope.
Like that. And I'm just like, damn, like, okay, that's dope. And, the first couple of sales are always, like, somebody I know. Like, always. But, like, when I get bigger people that start to reach out, that's what, like, really means it to me. Or not even to reach out and be like, oh, yeah, I want one, send me one, or I want to buy one, blah, blah. But, like, hey, bro, this is fire, this is potential, keep going.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like that's somebody, like, at a level that I'm, like, proud of, you know what I mean? So that's what I started looking for. Like, tagging people in my shit, like, definitely, for sure. Tagging is always a must. It's a new game right now, man. Instagram and, like, Facebook and all that shit is, like, changing. Like, COVID has changed the game, so
very
shit's
true.
more, like, oversaturated. Now you really got to put some dope shit out, I feel like.
For sure.
Facts. So, kind of to wrap up your points, so 1 would be spread love, and 2 is invest in yourself. I want to hit on the spread love. About a week or so ago, you mentioned coming back and wanting to get an event together to bring creatives and be able to network. Before we went live, we talked to you about how you guys been doing it down in Miami, or how it goes on in Miami. You want to elaborate on that for the listeners and the creative spaces down in Miami?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I guess not only Miami, but California, Philly, Miami, like even Orlando, all the places that I've lived, other than Winchester, there's always like this space for creatives. And in Miami, they have like Wynwood Marketplace. So everybody knows Wynwood's the art spot in Miami, but the Marketplace, you can be a vendor and, get like a peddler's license, things like that, and come up and basically sell your product. And people have everything from marijuana, art, clothing, pottery, vintage, like thrifty, yard sale-ish type of stuff, like anything, food trucks. But basically, man, like when you go there, like you know what to expect. You know you're gonna find some dope ass, just anything. Like I've gone there and bought like stickers. I bought art. I bought dope ass like vintage stuff, T-shirts, like hats, like just all kind of cool stuff. So basically, I wanted to do something like that back home. So I wanted to try. I'm in the process of just kind of looking around and trying to find a venue. The reason why I want to find a venue is because I want it to be private, so nobody has to worry about like peddler's license or vendor's license and stuff like that. Like come and really have a good time. But people missed out on Apple Blossom. COVID is really like putting a damper on everybody's mood. But I think Winchester and the city back home, there's a lot of creatives out there. So even in Wynwood, like, there's music. You can come. It's like a listening party. You know what I mean? You come, put the headphones in, and listen to somebody's music. That have a couple of audio jacks set up and stuff like that. But really just, I see a lot of art now coming from Winchester. I see music. I see clothing, brands left and right every day. And just different businesses that I think people could come and just support. If you got a bakery, come. Come set up a table, let people know you got a bakery, have some samples, have some product, that you want to sell or whatever. And basically, it's not really something that I am trying to profit off of. I want to break even on the space and shit like that. But more so people just, come and really collectively show what everybody's doing and capable of, in the area.
I think that's dope. We've been talking about, things like that, and nobody really does that out here. So I'm glad you're bringing that to the table. I'm glad that you have included us in these discussions. We're all for it. And we hope COVID doesn't slow this down, but regardless, at some point it is going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to happen. It needs to happen. I see people like giving away food, doing a lot of great shit. And I think that, everybody can kind of come together as a collective and really have, something dope, something fun, something, good going on for everybody to just really kind of come out, network, have a good time. It just reminds me, like I had an event when I remember like T-Bone's first opened. It was like before I was going to move back from Cali. Like I came home and had like 30 different products, like shirts, T-shirts. I even had jackets at the time. And man, it was like a dope event. You know what I mean? Like we just came, had a good time, listened to music, sold some products. So I'm like, man, if I can do that on a bigger scale and give everybody a chance to do something like that, that's the goal,
Oh yeah, we're gonna make it happen.
Sounds like a good time. I wanna parlay that into something else I saw you did recently. It's kind of talking about spreading love and like giving everybody their shot. And I saw, I think you had a young man that wants to get into what you're doing, kind of like a mentorship thing where he had came to Florida and you kind of took him to some places and we're kind of trying to drop some knowledge. I wanted to hear a little bit about how you got into that and like what that experience was like and what that stuff means to you right now. Just trying to share that knowledge with the younger generation.
Definitely. So, me coming to that stage is really at a point where, this is what I do full time. I do the art, I do the clothing, and I've been blessed enough to be able to do that for probably maybe 6 months or so now. And things are going good. So, the mentorship program was something that I really wanted to do, just because I've always wanted to find a way to give back, because it's important to me. And then also because of, it's what the brand really stands about. So growing up, I never ever saw people doing jobs or things that I wanted to do and having the luxuries of life that I wanted out of life, like from getting those things. So, growing up in Winchester, you got your teacher, your doctor, your construction worker, your McDonald's guy, your factory worker, like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And none of those things really appealed to me. Only the material things that one of them had appealed to me. So like when I started out in college, I was a physician's assistant major because I wanted that price tag. Like I want that money. If I'm gonna go to college, like I'm about to get the chicken. And then
I feel it.
As you go through that, you're like, man, I don't want to fucking work with these people every day. No knocks to anybody, but like, this ain't what I want to do all day. So the mentorship program, I just was sitting around thinking one day, and I'm like, man, like I want to help a kid out. I want to do something. So I posted on my Facebook, Instagram, and all that, the website. that I was doing a mentorship program. So I had a bunch of people get back to me, and I came across this lady who was referred to me by someone I used to work with when I lived in Orlando. And I hadn't seen or talked to this person in quite some time. And they were like, hey, I know someone, and I don't really know her all that well, but, I think that, her son could really use it. His name's Mike. He's 11. He's about to move down from Massachusetts to Orlando with his mom. He's biracial. He relates to you in a lot of different aspects. He's having a hard time in school with kind of some bullying and things like that. So I'm like, cool. So I'm like, kind of went into it, not really knowing what to expect. And then I ended up, getting in contact with his mom. So basically they flew down to Miami and stayed in a hotel for 2 days. So I went and met with them. And at first, I just kind of met Mike, felt him out and stuff like that. He was definitely a shy kid or whatever, but he was, super cool, bright kid, good looking kid, just, really looked like he had a lot going for him. So a part of the program as well is to be able to give these kids something, not only information, but something tangible. And, we all know when we're kids, what you're wearing, what you're doing, all that is a big part of what other kids say about you and treat you. And also how you feel about yourself. When you got that first fresh ass outfit, we all know the meme, you laying it out on the bed,
yeah, for sure.
Going to sleep in your shoes for the next day. So I went out to the mall. I got him some shoes, some shirts, stuff like that. And then, I had some cash to give him. So I met up with him. I kind of gave him these things and we kind of, talked and, went over a few things. And then he actually kind of let me know that he, was super interested in art, things like that. And then, we kind of talked about, what was going on in school, which was really nothing major, just, communication, kids not knowing how to communicate and kids being kids. So fortunately enough, and then he wants to be a YouTuber, a gamer. So he's got a gaming channel. So he was able to show me these videos that he's got of himself. And he just started this YouTube channel. His mom hasn't let him make it public or do all that. So he's not there yet, or I'd shout him out. And then the next day I took him to basically an art gallery, and then I bought some spray paint, and in Wynwood, kind of no, but we tacked some walls and stuff like that. And basically it was just to show him that, you can kind of create your own future, your own opportunities. There's a museum out here called Museum of Graffiti that I wanted to take him to. I thought was really important because it basically highlights on the history of graffiti. And in this museum, you can see the evolution of how, when it started, these people were the nomads, the outcasts. It was a felony to tag stuff up. And now you have Wynwood, which is one of the, most expensive areas in the Miami area, which is highlighted for art, and people get paid, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do these murals and things like that. So it was kind of just a collective to bring it all together.
That's awesome. I've heard a lot about that area, even recently. There's just a lot of murals and stuff down there. So that's Wynwood.
Mm-hmm.
I went down there. I went to Miami 2 summers ago with my best friend for our birthday. It was this time of year. And that boombox, that building, the back of it's a gold boombox. I was dead set on finding that. I was I need to find that boombox. Need to get a picture of it. And we went through all the shops and everything like that. And I was just in awe because every corner, every building you look at is just inspiration. And I can't imagine getting to walk out my front door and that being what I see every day. So shout out to you for that, because that's probably super uplifting. It's not just gray cement walls. You walk out and you see all this, color and vibrance and all that. So that's super lit.
That's top lit for sure.
Yeah.
So what can we expect in the future from your boy? What you got in the arsenal coming out?
I'm doing a couple of things, man. I got, these Robin hoodies are coming out, but I'm basically doing a kind of an NBA collection. Mm-hmm. Where I'm just basically, highlighting the players that I thought were dope. So the first one I did was Dennis Rodman. We all know he was the weirdo, the outcast. Yeah. I had the idea, and then I started watching Last Dance. And after the first episode, I'm hell yeah, I'm doing this hoodie, and it's gonna be done by the time Last Dance is over, and I'm gonna be able to rock with that. And yeah, so that happened, and then I, definitely wanted to do a Kobe one, but it was too sensitive because he had just passed, you know what I mean? And I was a Kobe fan, am a Kobe fan, am a Laker fan. Mm-hmm. Shout out Denzel Cartwright. That's my diehard.
I seen that. Didn't he get something for the little one?
Yeah, man. He just sent me the Laker baby gear.
That's
So
dope.
he's dripped out, ready for the playoffs. But my bad. What was your question?
Now talking about what you got.
Well,
coming.
hold up. I seen the Kobe one. You put a little preview on Instagram. The Los Angels, and you had the E kind of blacked out, or.
Yeah. So basically, the next one that I'm doing, my bad. The next one I'm doing is the Kobe one. It's gonna be the Lost Angels. So basically, it's got the Mamba silhouette snake that's gonna be screen printed on the front. The Lost Angels is gonna be screen printed, but the E is gonna be like stitched on in black. So basically, symbolizing Los Angeles and the Lost Angels, and then on the back, it has a like in yellow, it has a goat.
Oh, is that what that is? That's the back of the Kobe.
On the back, and then the skulls are like goat skulls.
Yeah, it's fire.
Man.
I need that one.
He's like,
I'm a purple
stacking
guy. I'm
bread.
not a Lakers fan, but like half my wardrobe's purple.
Oh yeah.
So I need that.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah, man. So I'm doing that. I'm gonna have a lot more like basic logo tees and stuff like that I come out with, just like the basic stuff that people can get. Like the $20, $25 tees, like just kind of have. I'm gonna start doing packs, and then definitely a lot more cut and sew. So the Goosebumps pants and the art pants of the painting that I did came out real well.
Yeah.
Can we just touch on that real quick? My man came out with the Cherokee Indian pants, and they were fire. What are you calling those, by the way?
I don't even know, man. That's honestly, it's not even my design. I went to ThriftCon here in Miami, and there was this dude. He had these. It wasn't like the same type of blanket. It was like a Sherpa blanket.
Yeah.
Like that was like NASCAR, and he was like, the pants were like half made. And he was like, yeah, man, like I'm making these pants, and then showed me his Instagram, and then there was like a bunch of these designers that were like making them, and I was like, man, fuck, like I want something to rock with my '90s theme. Like I gotta keep it like your boy, like '90s, and I just thought of the Goosebumps book covers. Because I used to fuck with Goosebumps real heavy, so I got this company to make me a big ass Goosebumps woven blanket, and then you know what I mean, just turned it into
then
pants.
Took it apart and stitched it into some pants.
Yo, those were fire.
Yeah, that's dope. That whole outfit's dope. Well, I don't know, Brandon, you got any more like basic stuff before we?
Well, I just wanted to shout out his website. So it's shopyourboyart.com. Is that where they can find everything?
Yeah, shopyourboyart.com, YERBOYART.com. That's where I post most of the clothing and stuff like that. Art, people who want to get like art from me and commissions and stuff like that. I do a lot of it through like the Instagram. I'm gonna have eventually on my website where you can kind of set it up, but it's more of a personal thing with art, so it's a lot deeper of a conversation. I either have like a Zoom call, phone call, stuff like that.
So if you guys want to get some your boy art from Kyle, hit him up directly so you could discuss that and get all the details out.
Heck yeah. Well, before we get to the shout outs and wrapping everything up, I got a question for you, and it's take your time and think about it. It might take you a second. But I know right now things are starting to pick up, and you're getting a lot of steam, and the brand's taking off. And if you could like think about 5 to 10 years down the road, where your brand is, where your family is, where you're living, what your life's like, what's that look like? If it grows exactly the way you want it, money's no option, what's your life look like?
I mean, that's an easy question for me. I'm a planner, I'm an overthinker, so I think about that type of shit every day.
Yeah.
But for me, it's really just being an entrepreneur, being a successful entrepreneur, and really kind of doing what I want to do and having the money come in. Real estate is definitely something that I'm planning to, kind of get my hands in and stuff like that. Stocks, if anybody needs help in the stock market, hit me up. I've made some people some money there too, but that's the goal, really just being an entrepreneur, being a creative. With the creation, there's no telling where it could go. As far as the art, obviously want to grow it as big as it can possibly grow as far as my, brand name and stuff like that. But my dream has always really been actually, just to have my own store. With COVID, I think everything is changing. Like, I think the world's in a really tricky place right now. So brick and mortar shops and stuff like that may not be, where it's at anymore, but that's always still the goal for me.
It's the time to grow your online store,
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Keep producing my own shit. Manufacture, distribute, produce all my own product the same way I've been doing. Keep the creative, kind of one-of-one aspect to it. I think that's what, makes it unique for me, and, be a big, well-paid artist.
Heck yeah, man.
Yerboy.
Hey.
You guys got anything else before we wrap it up?
I did want to say something. It's funny when you were talking about how like Fishback brought you a sewing machine because Fishback is the one that gave us our heat press.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And he also has your boy tattooed on him. Is there anybody else that has your boy tattooed on him?
Yeah. So it's me, Fishback, and Vance that have your boy tattooed.
Gotcha.
Denzel would have had it if he would have been there that day, but me, Vance, and Fishback, we were living in Orlando together. We got that on my birthday. So I was like, man, I'm going to get it. And I'm like, man, I want y'all two to get it with me. Them two and Denzel are probably my closest friends on the planet. Denzel, he's doing the dogs. So I gave him the exclusive right to use the name Yerboy Kennels.
Nice.
There you go.
The blessing.
There you go, man.
Yeah, that's his tattoo, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's just it. Me, Fishback, and Vance.
Yeah,
I feel it. Well, before we head out of here, man, I know you said you had some shout-outs that you wanted to give. And so any shout-outs you want to give or any love you want to share right now, shout out anybody that you want to kind of shed some light on.
Oh, yeah, man. Definitely want to shout out, Chill Kill. I just got my Chill Kill to you in the mail.
There you go.
Big whoop.
Yeah.
My homie Marcus Berry, I'd definitely love to get him on y'all's joint. He makes solid music, man. He just released an album called The Vault. He's selling some t-shirts as well. It comes with a CD, a t-shirt, and then the lyrics are actually printed out.
Oh, that's dope.
As well to every song. It's pretty dope. You can hit him up on the Instagram, Marcus Berry. Humble Hustle. I got a friend of mine who does like a nonprofit as well. Humble Hustle, he does clothing, stuff like that. But he has a 100% nonprofit organization. They just did a huge mural in Roanoke, like in racism, like in the streets, how they did the Black Lives Matter. So he organized that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, other than that, that's about it. I might have a Chill Kill and Your Boy collab coming up here soon, and then me and Vance might do a collab as well with the Beamer Designs and Your Boy.
Dope.
Fire. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Well, you wanna wrap it up? I don't know, Brandon.
I'll wrap it up. Y'all might be seeing a Wope and Your Boy collab coming soon as well. But nah, for real. Appreciate you coming on and sharing all this knowledge with our listeners and even us, man. It's inspiring hearing your story. It's inspiring seeing how far you've come since I've met you. And, man, I'm proud of you. Keep it up. Congratulations on the little one. Yeah, man, we just going to keep grinding. Iron Skillet Podcast. We just going to keep kicking content. We back.
There you go.
Big whoop.
See you guys next week.
Absolutely appreciate it, y'all.